Cops found a crying baby in a dumpster and rescued her. Years later, he received the shock of his life. In the small town of Pine Brook, John Spencer, a former police officer, discovered an abandoned newborn baby in a dumpster and miraculously saved its life. This fateful encounter would haunt him for the next 25 years, shaping his life in unexpected ways. Now living a quiet life as a bookstore owner, he receives a mysterious phone call that will unravel the secrets of the past and forever change the course of his life. Growing up in Pine Brook left John Spencer wishing for more most of the time. As a kid, he would sit in front of the television set and watch cops bust bad guys. He knew that's what he wanted to do. And so as soon as he could, John joined the local police force. He was disappointed to learn that the most action they saw was Mr. and Mrs. Dubowski's weekly drunken fights. Overall, Pine Brook was a peaceful place, with natural causes being the leading reason for death. John didn't wish harm on anybody, just that he'd see more action. An average man at a whopping 5'7" and a solid 130 pounds, John was one of the nicest men out there. It had opened along with the town and had been family-run since then. John wondered what it could be. It was just a boring and nasty weather-wise Tuesday afternoon. Martin reached for the microphone with his stubby hands. "This is Unit 902. We're nearby and are responding." His eyes were stern, his eyes locked on the windshield as he pulled the car onto the street. John watched Martin as they zipped around the corner. He looked completely focused, as if the radio call had put him into a trance. After a few more moments, the cruiser pulled into the secluded alley behind O'Malley's. The alley was flanked on both sides by tall brick walls, covered in graffiti and posters. Puddles of rainwater reflected the neon lights from O'Malley's. There was no sign of life anywhere, and considering the torrential downpour outside, there likely hadn't been. But still, someone had called for a reason. He was on full alert, like a dog. He quickly darted towards the wailing, his heart pounding through his chest and adrenaline surging. The sound was coming from the dumpster. Each step through the rain-soaked alley felt urgent. His focus was solely on the dumpster. With each stride, John's heart pounded louder in his ears, almost drowning out the sound of the rain. As he reached the dumpster, he could now clearly make out the distressing cries of an infant. Without a second thought, he pushed aside the lid of the dumpster and peered inside. John was aghast when his fears were confirmed. Nestled in a blanket and under a piece of newspaper was a bouncing baby girl, shivering and crying. His heart sank. John gently lifted the baby into his arms, cradling the infant against his chest. With the baby safe in his arms, John glanced around, hoping to meet Martin's eyes. 25 years had passed since that day. It replayed in John's head daily, like his own twisted movie. The baby's desperate cries echoed in his ears, a haunting reminder of the vulnerability and pain he had witnessed that fateful night. The incident was the primary reason that he quit the force a few years later. Although he denied it when asked, he knew that there was a cherry on top. He opened up a bookstore a few years ago. He was able to immerse himself in his love for literature. It was a place where he could escape from the darkness that haunted his past and find comfort in the written words of others. The shelves were lined with books of all genres. Sunlight filtered through the large front windows, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. Above the counter hung a huge chalkboard. On it, John had meticulously chalked quotes from beloved authors and daily jokes. "My name is Jane Reynolds," the voice continued, sending a sudden surge of shock through John's body. His heart skipped a beat, and he felt a whirlwind of emotions rushing back from that fateful day 25 years ago. "Jane Reynolds," he repeated in disbelief, his voice trembling. "Are you the baby I found that day?" She replied softly, her voice choked with emotion, that she was the baby he rescued from that alley, and she wanted to thank him personally for saving her life. "Your life is a remarkable journey, and I'd love to hear about it and answer any questions you might have." Jane thanked him warmly. "I know it might be difficult, but I promise I'll make it worth your while. There's so much I want to know, and I hope I can provide some closure for you, too," she said. John agreed to meet Jane, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. The news of their upcoming meeting spread quickly, making headlines and capturing the attention of the media. The date of the meeting approached rapidly, and a sense of anticipation filled the air. For John, it was a bittersweet moment. The bookstore that had been his sanctuary now took on a new significance as it became the place where Jane and William would meet for the first time. As the day finally arrived, John stood by Jane's side, offering her the support she needed. The meeting was emotional, with both Jane and William discovering shared traits and mannerisms. While the circumstances of their reunion were unusual, the bond they forged that day was unmistakable. While she might never fully comprehend her biological mother's state of mind or the reasons behind her actions, Jane knew that life could be unpredictable and sometimes filled with challenges. At that moment, she felt fortunate to have found her family. The emotional meeting between Jane and William marked a significant turning point in her journey of self-discovery. The sudden connection with her biological father was a revelation that reshaped her sense of identity and belonging. As their story touched the hearts of many, it served as a reminder that life's twists and turns could lead to beautiful connections and life-altering revelations. Jane's remarkable journey was a testament to the power of forgiveness, the resilience of the human spirit, and the unbreakable ties that could form even in the most unexpected circumstances. In the end, it was a journey of love, hope, and the profound impact that one act of kindness could have on shaping the lives of others. In a tale that captured a public's imagination, John Spencer and Jane Reynolds embark on a journey marked by media attention and extraordinary discoveries. Jane's resemblance to her biological father sets in motion a series of events that leads to unexpected connections and a path toward forgiveness and understanding. Their intertwined lives and unbreakable bonds serve as a testament to the profound impact of fate and the transformative power of forgiveness and love.